Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Why do you think the WSJ didn't publish Trump's drawing sent to Epstein? Former WSJ reporter here. I think they didn't include an image of the letter because it may have disclosed the sources that provided the reporters with the details needed to publish the story. This is almost certainly it. Publications have become particularly sensitive to this after The Intercept inadvertently unmasked its source, Reality Winner, by sharing images of the original documents. When I was a journalist, I remember one story where we had to transcribe hundreds of words from a leaked document under the clock to protect the identity of the source. Another possibility is that the journalists never saw the Trump letter directly and it was only ever described to them by the, presumably highly trusted, sources. I think this scenario is less likely. I thought of that scenario, but I don't think the editors, lawyers, EIC would have given the green light to publish the story if the source described the letter without the reporters seeing it firsthand. Waiting for the discovery phase if Trump actually pushes the lawsuit to trial so they can dump the original in as evidence. I'm anticipating him either cornering them with some threat to their profits or otherwise bribing them with some shady shit so they settle out of court, thereby setting the precedent even lower for free press in America. I think that may be the real goal here. Hopefully they don't fold, but any for-profit outlets are vulnerable to this trick and all corporate outlets have their price. I think Murdoch, whose net worth is hovering around $25 billion, isn't really afraid of that. Frankly, I think it's the first major shot by the oligarch class members who have simply had enough of Trump and are ready to be done with the useful idiot. They got most of what they wanted from him already. Because the image was leaked by an FBI agent, etc., with access to the files and showing the image with whatever government markings would reveal this fact, starting a huge investigation, potentially compromising the source. FBI records released previously show that birthday book was in the list of evidence that was obtained in 2019. Or, Murdoch is giving Trump just enough rope to hang himself and the image will make its way to the public in a few more days. I saw a bit of Fox, also a Murdoch outfit, today, picking up lunch at a place that regularly has it on the TVs, and they were straight up talking about Russia interfering in the 2016 election to help Trump, which seems out of character. I didn't get the full context to see if maybe they were spinning it somehow. But it does make me wonder if there's a rift forming there. I think they got the tax cuts they wanted, and Trump isn't necessary anymore. The tariffs are causing everyone problems, and those are 100% Trump. He's always had a weird thing about tariffs, even before his political days. This administration isn't like last time, when it was pretty much the usual Washington crowd with Trump at the head. There was goofiness for sure, but it was in general business as usual. RFK Jr., Hegseth, Patel, McMahon, etc. are complete fucking nut jobs. Complete sycophants who are bad at their jobs, and really threatening global stability. So now that they got what they wanted out of him, it's probably in their benefit to bounce him for Vance, who's infinitely more controllable. At the end of the day, stability benefits big business. You likely misheard it. Tulsi Gabbard released a nothing burger yesterday in an attempt to distract from what's happening in the Epstein, Trump space. Trying to claim there was some kind of Obama cover-up yada yada yada. Just typical red meat slop. My guess is that the WSJ is smart enough to recognize how Trump and his sycophants always play these things out. They deny, in loud, boisterous terms, the radical Dems are out to get him, and in their race to do so always make some foolish claim that becomes easy to disprove. So the WSJ is slow playing it, much like the way the reporter did with the Signal chat reveals. Always make some foolish claim that becomes easy to disprove. Exactly, like the way Trump has already tried to claim he doesn't draw pictures, and then people immediately dug up quotes and images from him proudly talking about the doodles he used to donate to charity each year. From my understanding, it's because it's of an outline of a naked woman with curves to denote breasts. Americans are kinda prudes about nudity in public settings. This was my immediate answer to, lol. Because boobies. There's no conspiracy here, just ordinary American double standards. I really don't think that's the answer. Like if that was the case they'd obviously just censor it, but even that seems ridiculous. Meanwhile the president actually doing it, the same prudes will be like this is fine, i.e. Hollywood tapes. Rape. The president rapes and conservatives cheer. Especially a conservative-leaning newspaper. Yep, the WSJ used to be the far right-wing paper of record. Don't want to offend the religious nuts customers with potentially implied boobies. Also his signature were her pubes. Retired reporter checking in. There had to have been something on the letter. My guess is the image itself would lead to a valuable source they're protecting, and thank God they are. Rope-a-dope. They did it a lot during the first Trump admin. Put out a story. Trump would claim it was fake. They'd post proof, and his base wouldn't care. Rinse. Repeat, you gotta get over the idea that his base is ever gonna care. They're not. This shit is to keep the rest of us informed, and hopefully motivated. But don't ever think for a moment you're gonna talk most of them out of Trump, any more than you're gonna talk a little old church lady out of believing in Jesus. Because they wanted the article to spread internationally as much as possible without requiring censorship. It's good for business if people around the world can read the original unedited article rather than a censored rewrite on another site. They may also be withholding it because they'll have to produce it during litigation to a jury that will need to determine if it could be a Trump original. I don't know, but someone has a treasure trove of Epstein docs and this could just be the first drip. You know someone has evidence. I'm just waiting for it to come out. He has made way too many enemies for this to just slide by. And he did just fire the Epstein prosecutor, Maureen Comey. Like these, https://josh.net/epsteinlist/gov.usecourts.nist.447706.1320.0 combined.pdf, verified court documents, https://josh.net/epsteinlist/black-book-unredacted.pdf, verified pre-Bondi, Trump is on page 85, or PDF PG. 80. Trump's name is circled. The circled individuals are the ones involved in the trafficking ring according to the person who originally released the book. These people would be, the list, here is the story. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=sick or cac. Other Epstein information https://cdn.factcheck.org/uploaded files/Johnson_Trump Epstein_caliph_lawsuit.pdf. Here's a court doc of Epstein and Trump raping a 13-year-old together. Some people think this claim is a hoax. Here is Katie's testimony on YouTube, https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=gnib-oro. https://ER6007005.us.archive.org/21/items/Epstein-docs/. Well, apparently Patel assigned like 1,000 FBI agents to review the Epstein files to flag Trump stuff. FBI agents who Trump has been shit-talking for a decade. I bet there's a lot of someones with docs out there. Think of all the lawyers who were working on this case when Jeffrey Epstein was alive and all the lawyers working on the Ghislaine Maxwell case, too. So they can provide the receipts next week and get even more traffic. I think we can only speculate for now, but I'm sure it will come out in court. Remember kids, Epstein died on Trump's watch. Trump's orders. Better to let him spend weeks saying it is fake so that when it is produced for discovery, he has lost all leverage and the case falls apart. The WSJ is not stupid, this whole thing has a very specific purpose and he is playing into their hands. I'd also bet Fox is slowly backpedaling some of their support as well. Murdoch got what he wants and now he needs an exit ramp, this is it. There is no way the WSJ didn't run this story by every lawyer they could find. Can confirm, I once played mob lawyer Billy Flynn in a high school production of Chicago, and WSJ even ran this story by me. Because they know it is real and thus Trump knows it is real and thus Trump knows they still have this in their back pocket, so they are holding it back as future ammunition should Trump deny and lash out, punch back as is his mo. The Trump squiggly signature as a naked girl's pubes is surely quite the visual, so they are holding on to a strong bullet for the next round in the fight. I think the WSJ knows how Trump and his crew usually act. They come out yelling and denying everything, and in the chaos, they always say something dumb that's easy to prove wrong. So the WSJ is probably just waiting it out, letting them mess up first, kind of like how that reporter handled the Signal chat leaks. You would think the WSJ knew Trump would come at them over this, so would have to be 100% sure of their footing on this. Trump won't go far on the litigation as it potentially requires him to answer questions under oath. Trump hasn't asked for the letter to be produced. Copyright, see if Trump claims it. You never show all your cards in the first round. They're waiting to see if Trump will bite, and he has. Now the game begins. To bait Trump. I believe they will. They wanted to give Trump and Vance a chance to make fools of themselves first by denying it existed. He's out of his league going after Murdoch. I don't care. At this point, show me some fucking justice or some sign the country can go back to normal. I'm tired as hell. I want to never hear Trump's fucking name again. It probably looked like that sketch from The Big Lebowski. That had not occurred to us, dude. If you can tell the difference between the Wall Street Journal and Hustler magazine, then you know the answer to the question. Like any good tabloid, they are stretching it out. Why put everything in one issue? People will now buy 3 or 4 more papers. I don't doubt they have it, and I reckon they are absolutely certain of its authenticity. Trump is a very panicky nonce right now. Because it doesn't exist. Is no one else suspicious that Rupert Murdoch of all people is the head honcho behind it all? I can think of no one else I'd trust less. I am highly paranoid this story was published specifically to be debunked publicly after a shitstorm of stories. Call me paranoid, but then name one single fucking person less trustworthy. It's already causing his base to rally behind him as once again, the media is out to destroy him. Along with Vance's reported meeting with the Murdochs on Tuesday, I find it suspicious as well. Because it's a made-up story. My personal conspiracy theory is that this story was actually published into order to help Trump by re-rallying his base around their own made-up, media, deep state, conspiracy. I agree, I'm not sure I trust this.